I, Professor Ranjana, Research Lab for Energy Systems. The topic of my talk is co-precipitate contender catalyst for energy contrivance nanostructured ZNS. So, highlights of my talk is that the need of research on green energy, importance of nanoscience and technology, basic properties of ZNS, effect of growth of ZNS on nanoscale and various strategies to enhance the catalytic activities for solar energy utilization, energy generation and storage. Energy is anchor of civilization. So, main important reasons that why we should work or do the research on the energy materials, that is the main reasons are rapid depletion of fossil fuels, pollution, global warming, high inflation, abundance of renewable energy sources like wind, solar, geothermal, etc. So, importance of green energy, the hydroelectric resource is 0.5 terawatt from all tides and oceans, current 2.7 terawatt, geothermal and the globally extractable wind power solar energy is striking the earth, that is the 1,20,000 terawatt. So, every second sun produces enough energy to sustain earth's need for the 5 lakhs years. So, importance of green energy is for the environment, energy, this is the energy for the future generation and the energy security. So, how we are able to harness the energy? In this process, catalyst plays a critical role in environmental remediation and in pollution prevention. Development of catalytic process has allowed the chemical industry to operate in the realm of higher product efficiency with optimal resource utilization, leading effectively to the greener processes overall. In catalysis, photocatalyst and the electrocatalyst plays a key role in energy generation, conversion and storage at very low cost. Optimal energy conversion and storage in the device can be possibly achieved by the nanostructuring the material. At micro scale, there are few disadvantages related to the solar energy conversion technology. They are limited efficiency, high manufacturing cost, less flexibility, less energy payback time, unstable for the larger span of time. At nano scale, various new characteristics arises. They are the physical and chemical properties, optical properties, tunable band gaps, multiple exciton generation, enhancement of mechanical characteristics like hardness, compressive strength, specific weight, etc., surface reactivity and flexibility. So, there are several importance of the metal sulphides in the catalysis application. Several types of the catalytic semiconductors like metal oxides, metal nitrides, metal sulphides, alkali metal base and the organocatalytic materials are reported, and amongst these material pure metal oxide and their composites, pure metal sulphides and their composites have grabbed extra attention. Comparing to the metal oxides, metal sulphides have fascinated a lot for green energy application due to the lower valence band position, small effective mass and show a strong quantum size effect. Metal sulphides are semiconductors in which sulfur is an anion linked with a cation of metal, where ions of metal could be mono, bi or in the multi-state. Metal sulphides possesses suitable energy band, conduction and valence bands, position, uncovered active site and show the potential photocatalytic and electrocatalytic activities. Due to their range of the crystal structure sizes, shapes, their outstanding photon response, metal sulphides can contribute to range of potential application. They acquire extraordinary virtues like high photosensitivity, large specific surface area, lower redox potential and longer lifetime and lower melting point compared to the metal oxides. So, why we have chosen ZNS? So, this is the first semiconductor discovered. It is a significant group 2 and 4 semiconductor, green wide band gap semiconductor, chemically high stable and show better chemical stability over hydrolysis and oxidation. Large exciton binding energy is about 40 MeV. Interesting entities for the catalytic application because all its characteristics are maintained when converted to nano range, where they are exposed to fierce environment. Natural presence of sulfur and zinc are in abundance and make it more advantageous and is available at the lower cost. Multifaceted applications such as electrocatalyst, photocatalyst, solar cells, field emitters, biosensors, electroluminescence are mainly utilized, and in large surface to the volume ratio, the quantum size effect, increased optical absorption, lower melting point, thermal resistance, chemical and catalytic activities, higher specific and areal capacitance value, superior cyclic stability that make it fit for the anode materials in the electrochemical devices like supercapacitors, lithium ion batteries, etc. In ambient atmosphere, ZNS comprises two crystal structures, and this is known to everyone, that is cubic phase, zinc blend and the hexagonal phase. Both phases of ZNS can be used in various energy conversion and storage devices. Coordination geometry for the zinc and sulfur is found to be tetrahedral in both the phases, and in picture you are able to see the cubic zinc blend structure of ZNS. Closest links are similar in both phases, but from furthermore neighbors the distances and angles quietly differ. Asymmetric unit in unit cell is 4 and cubic phase is 2, and for hexagonal phase, cubic phase is more stable than the hexagonal phase. For cubic phase, energy band is 3.71 electron volt and 3.91 electron volt for the hexagonal phase. Here in this picture, you are able to see the Woodgide structure of ZNS. So, there are the strategies for the enhancement of the material characteristics for energy utilization. The first one is the band gap energy, control of morphology, charge transport and mobility, and the photo response. In band gap energy, so that it can cover the whole solar spectrum. For the charge transport and mobility, electrocatalysis performance should be superior. In photo response, the material should have high catalytic effect in the presence of light. And for the control of morphology, disordered structure of the semiconductors causes the transport of the carriers through hooping mechanism rather than through band like transport. So, there are various methods and techniques by which we are growing the nanostructures, and the nanostructures are depending upon the synthesis techniques. So, the synthesis techniques which we are using, They are the co-precipitation method, hydrosolvothermal method and thermal decomposition method. The advantages of these three methods are they are simple, highly economical, tabletop technique. They can be used easily with simple arrangement at not very high temperature. In the co-precipitation method, we have synthesized various morphology of ZNS, and these morphologies are spherical nanoparticles, rose flower petals, nanoparticles, another nanoparticles with the band gap that is the 3.80 to 4 and quantum dots of energy band gap 4.58, nanoparticles of band gap 4.14 electron volt and the spherical n-type ZNS nanoparticles which we have developed in our lab. It is having the band gap 3.57, emission region is ranging from 3.6153, 381.49, 423.03. The crystal structure and the crystallite size which we have grown in our lab, that is the cubic zinc blend, and its crystallite size is 6.37 nanometers, and the application is for the solar energy utilization, and this is the work which we have done in our lab, that is the research lab for energy systems. But we are having the different nanostructure for the morphology like spherical nanoparticles. Here we are having the crystal structure zinc blend and the crystallized size is 50 nanometer. For the rose flower petal zinc blend of the crystallized size 36 nanometer. Nanoparticles of a hexagonal, that is of a crystallized size 28 nanometers. The another nanoparticles, that is the cubic zinc blend of crystallite size 2 to 4 nanometers, and quantum dots, that is the cubic zinc blend of crystallite size 17 plus minus 2 angstrom, and the utilizations are in structural and optical properties of study the photocatalytic activity and the kinetic study and the photoluminance and the photoconductivity study. And in our case, where we have synthesized the spherical n-type ZNS nanoparticles, we are using it for the solar energy utilization. This is the paper which we have published in Journal of Physics and Chemistry of Solids, that is the reduced band gap and the diffusion control spherical n-type ZNS nanoparticles for absorption of UV vis region of the solar spectrum. Here in this particular slide, you are able to see that the nanostructure which we have developed and the different parameters which we have studied in the ZNS nanoparticles. The another method, that is the hydrosolvothermal method, by which we have grown the different types of the morphology, that is the polyhedron, fan shaped, sheet hexagonal, rectangle and missing angle rectangle, and crystal structure is the hexagonal phase and the crystallite size is of the order of 0.69 to 10 micrometer, and the potential applications are the photocatalyst for the photodegradation dyes in the wastewater treatment. The another morphology which we have which has been developed, that is the laminar smooth microspheres, roughened microspheres, plate like ZNS, and the emission region is lying for this spherical ZNS nanoparticles, that is in the blue and green emission. The crystal structure is the cubic zinc blend phase and the crystallized size is of the order of 25 nanometer, and the application potential applications are structural and optical properties have been studied for this one. The nanoclusters of ZNS comprised on nanowires, and the crystal structure which has been grown, that is the hexagonal phase, and the crystallite size is of the order of 5 to 10 micrometer. And here also the structural and optical properties have been studied. The ZNS hierarchical microsphere, that is the energy band gap, is of the order of 3.4 electron volt. Emission region, that is the 516 nanometer, and the crystal structure is the wood size and the 10 nanometer crystallite size, and the length is about the 500 nanometers. In this structure, the structural and the optical properties have been studied. The uniform nanoparticles, here also the cubic zinc blende phase has been obtained, and the crystallite size is of the order of the 30 to 40 nanometers. And the potential use of this particular nanostructure morphology is in the supercapacitor. We have developed in our lab, that is the 1D, 2D, 3D ZNS nanostructures, and energy band gap is 3.13, 2.62 and 3.28 electron volt. Emission region is lying between the 354 to 528 nanometers, and we have the crystal structure obtained, that is the cubic zinc blende, and the potential applications are the photocatalysis and the supercapacitor applications. This is the particular paper which we have published in IOP publication, that is the Nanotechnology Journal, and the growth of the multidimensional ZNS nanostructures and study of its charge transfer mechanism on supercapacitor electrode and the photocatalytic performance. The nanostructures which we have developed, that has been shown here, that is the 1D, 2D, 3D nanostructures in different forms are presented here. The various analysis regarding the different structural and optical properties and the electrochemical properties studies we have discussed in this particular paper, and the charge transfer mechanism on supercapacitor electrodes and the photocatalytic performance has been discussed in this particular paper. The another synthesis method, that is the thermal decomposition method, and by this method we have the different morphologies has been obtained, that is the ZNS nanorod, ZNS nanoparticles, agglomerated ZNS nanoparticles, ZNS nanorods and the ZNS nanoparticles, and we have also developed the ZNS nanoparticles. The agglomerated ZNS NPS, in which we have in the agglomerated ZNS nanoparticles, the energy band gap has been obtained, that is of range 3.95, 3.78 and 3.85 electron volt. In the case of ZNS nanorod, it is 5.39 electron volt, whereas in the ZNS nanoparticles blue shifting in an absorption edge, and the ZNS nanoparticles which we have developed in our lab, that is of the order of band gap is of the order of 4.25, 3.96 and 3.72 electron volt. The emission range is lying in the emission visible range, and the crystal structure which we have obtained, that is the zinc blende, and the applications potential applications which we have discussed, that is the structural and optical and the electrocatalytic study, and this is the work from our lab. So, role of ZNS nanostructure in the catalysis. So, there are the main two applications of ZNS nanomaterials. One is in the photocatalyst and the another one is the electrocatalyst. So, the photocatalyst redox reaction on their surface when illuminated with light and use in energy generation, conversion, cleaning air, cleaning wastewater and even for making the self cleaning surface. In the electrocatalyst catalyzed redox reaction on the electrode surface when potential applied on it. So, they are used in the energy conversion, storage, batteries, supercapacitors and solar cells. So, role of ZNS nanostructure in the catalysis process is huge, and the ZNS is fascinating entity for the catalytic application. It is a direct band gap semiconductor that has amazing chemical stability against hydrolysis and oxidation. Furthermore, ZNS is non-toxic and accessible in abundance in nature, and consequently it can be used as major catalyst in protection of environment by using in energy conversion or storage device, and ZNS has been used as both photocatalyst and electrocatalyst. So, ZNS as photocatalyst, there are several uses in chemical, electrochemical, electric and the mechanical. So, the photocatalysts are the semiconductor compounds which catalyze redox reaction on their surface when illuminated with light. So, photocatalysis is used for energy generation from various means, that is in fuel cells, hydrogen generation, solar cells, cleaning air for cleaning wastewater and even for making self cleaning surfaces, that is in the building facades. The basic principle of the photocatalysis is the optical excitation of a semiconductor to create an electron hole pair. Semiconductor material plus the photon of light in conduction band and the holes in the valence band. A photon is absorbed whereby electron in the valence band of the semiconductor is promoted to the conduction band. The promotion of the electron leaves behind a hole which is a missing electron in the valence band. Photocatalytic mechanism has been for ZNS nanoparticles has been shown in the particular picture, where you are able to see that the light is falling on the ZNS nanostructure and how the formation of the hole and the electrons are electrons going in the conduction band are very much visible here. So, within the femtosecond, which you are able to see from this particular picture here, that is the photocatalytic mechanism, how it is taking place in the ZNS nanoparticles. So, within the femtosecond, the promoted electron will relax to the bottom of the conduction band and the hole will relax to the top of the valence band. This makes the energy separation equal to the band gap of the semiconductor, and thus the energy stored in the photocatalyst as the result of the absorbing one photon equals the band gap of the semiconductor. So, the photocatalytic reaction mechanism for ZNS is given in these three equations, that is the dye plus ZNS, and how the dye and the ZNS, they are bifurcating in the positive and the negative ions, and the ZNS is reacting with the oxygen, and then ZNS is reacting with the OH, and the OH is added with the dye, and the product after the degradation is the final product of the photocatalysis reaction mechanism for the ZNS. So, another use of ZNS is as an electrocatalyst. The increase of the population and the expansion of the industries have raised the fossil fuels consumption and generation of severe ecological trouble. At present time, the green energy production from the electrochemical catalytic reaction that can convert the regular resources such as water, carbon dioxide and nitrogen into energy rich carriers, oxygen, hydrogen, hydrocarbons, ammonia, etc. is a promising method. So, what are the requirements and the principles which are involved in the electrocatalysis? In electrochemical reaction, the conversion of chemical occurs by exchange of electrons via the process of the electron transfer, and this type of reaction usually occurs at a standard redox potential, that is basically the equilibrium potential. Here in this picture you are able to see the electrochemical work station which we are having at our lab, and the electrochemical study experimental setup has been shown in the figure here. To activate the reaction in one direction, a potential is applied to the working electrode where the nanocrystals are deposited. Electrocatalytic measurements are usually done by using 3 electrodes: the working electrode on which the nanocrystals are deposited, a counter electrode and the reference electrode. So, here in this picture the redox process which is happening in the ZNS nano electrodes has been shown, and the current is normally passed between the working electrode and the counter electrode via the external circuit. The working electrodes have to be of high purity, high lower surface roughness. Electrochemical measurements should also perform on the bare electrodes without depositing nanomaterials to make sure that the electrochemical activity is negligible. So, the redox reaction takes place in the electrocatalyst while applying the potential is given by equation. Reduction and oxidation reaction happens during the electrochemical activities are shown here in the picture as well, and the reaction which is taking place which has been also shown here. So, various efforts have been taken to improve the catalytic effects of ZNS, the effects of doping, effects of morphology, effects of porosity and the effects of defect states. So, these are the factors which is affecting the catalytic performance of ZNS nano particles. So, first we are going to discuss the effects of morphology. So, morphology control is necessary to know the relationship between the performance and structure of the ZNS materials for catalysis application. The catalytic activity of ZNS material is robustly related to its nanoscale morphology, and ZNS with a variety of nanoscale morphologies have been reported, such as the truncated triangles, hexagons, flakes, sheets, hierarchical, dendritic and hollow structures. So, we will discuss the 1D ZNS nanostructure, 2D ZNS nanostructures and 3D nanostructures, because all of them which we have synthesized in our lab. So, first of all I am going to discuss the 1D ZNS nanostructure. So, one of the prominent morphology in the field of the nanotechnology, as it can present direct electrical pathways for the photo generated electrons to increase the electron transport rate. so that it is a potential candidate for the use in solar cells for battery efficiency. Different 1D nanostructures are nanowires, nanorods, nanotubes, nanobelts, nanoribbons and the hierarchical nanostructure. So, here in this particular picture you are able to see the conduction band, forbidden gap and the valence band. So, so the positions of the n doped semiconductor, p doped semiconductor and the metal contacts you are able to see here in the case of the 1D ZNS nanostructure, and the structure which has been developed in my lab, that has been also shown in the picture as well.